In today's
The
video,
most disturbing thing Bella did was doxing a 10-year-old kid on her Discord server. She's said to have bullied the child multiple times before she finally doxed him, and this was such a severe thing that the kid started getting over 500 text messages from strangers who thought that the phone number was Bella's. It got so severe that the kid's mom had to go on TikTok.
Gacha Life, I knew there was something always there. I just didn't have to put my thumb on it. I just knew what it was. So, right. As expected, everyone...
Gacha Life, the role-playing game where you can customize your own character and create your own stories. A playing field for the most disturbing individuals on the internet. These are the most disturbing crimes that happened in the Gacha Life community. Nehima Ramen entered the gacha community as a friendly face. Her early content consisted of low-budget skits and comedic trends, quickly earning her a devoted following. On the surface, her channel was an innocent corner of the internet, but that was about to change. Nehima, or Miss Chocolate as she was famously known, was not late in attracting controversy and fire. Her first encounter with cancellation was when she was called out for using misleading and sometimes even straight up inappropriate thumbnails for her videos. This was especially problematic since the gacha community was already under fire from many outsiders, who claimed that while their original game was kids-oriented, the creators in the community made content that was just the opposite. Nehima used disturbing pictures that were totally unrelated to the original content of the video, like one that was titled "When a Girl Posts a Picture," which had a very inappropriate image as a thumbnail. And it doesn't even stop there. Nehima would be known for baiting people to watch the videos she posts, especially by posting graphic thumbnails that were blurred in an amount that ensures the viewers don't completely make out what it contains. Like this one, which shows a character unaliving somebody through hanging. And when she was questioned about it, she just dismissed the people who complained as ranters and claimed it barely made a difference if there was a trigger warning or not. It wasn't merely the clickbait though. The core content in itself was deeply problematic. Nehima was repeatedly accused of creating and promoting characters who displayed a calculated and often disturbing hatred towards men. Her videos were filled with unsettling narratives that went far beyond a simple skit. And then she was also called out for posting a video about COVID-19 that made fun of the whole virus situation in itself. In the video, Nehima portrayed the virus as some kind of anthropomorphic being who's dancing to a song. This was all the more daring and disrespectful since it was uploaded during the time of the pandemic, when a lot of people lost their lives because of it. As pointed out by a viewer, this video seemed to be Nehima's attempt at destroying herself. Everyone also pointed out how Nehima has changed over time, from a figure they all loved to someone who was just self-obsessed and even racist sometimes. In a video inspired by a real viral Chinese model, she made the character wear a stereotypical Chinese hanfu, even though none was actually present in the video. And on top of that, like many, even Nehima got embroiled with Technoblade when she was accused of using the latter's death to virtue signal. This was because Nehima seemed to mention Techno's death where it was completely not needed. Immediately after his death, she made a video titled "When Someone Says Technoblade is Dead," in which she makes a Technoblade gacha character. And so it was no surprise that many saw this as Nehima's attempt at getting herself a share of online popularity. And even though she might have seemed problematic now, compared to the coming ones, she's like an angel.
He did not make it back from his trip. Do you think that's funny? My dad is a deceased veteran. Do you think that's funny?
Bella the Wolf is by far the worst and most controversial gacha YouTuber out there. She's equally notorious both in and out of the community. Bella's real name is not known, but what is known is that she was born somewhere around 2005 and that she must be around 20 years old as of 2025. She started her YouTube channel in 2021 with an edit of the song Agora Hills with her own gacha character. The video did decent, and so Bella decided to post similar edits every now and then, but her normal videos would soon turn very abnormal. Bella decided to post a Gacha Life video where her own character was seen unaliving a soldier. This was so out of the blue that it confused a lot of her viewers. But because it was just one time, everyone let it pass, thinking that it had a context they were simply unaware of. But pretty soon they would know what it really meant. You see, by posting this video, Bella started her journey as a troll. She wanted to become popular by speaking badly about things people actually held in respect, and her first targets were soldiers and veterans. But it didn't stop there, because as she realized that this slander was getting her all the attention she wanted, she decided to change her target. It was religion this time. Bella decided to start posting weird drawings of Jesus and Allah, and started claiming that they were just wannabes. She also started saying that she was the truest of all gods, and people should follow her instead of them. For the most part, she expressed these opinions through YouTube polls and posts. In one poll, she asked everyone whether Bella mattered more than Allah and Jesus. And when he responded to that question, her answer was, "If you said no, you need therapy." It is posts like this that make it clear that Bella wanted to be at the center of controversy, which will ensure that she gets her followers. And she would call her own religion Bellism. And seeing people's reactions, she found out that this is the most effective way of getting herself popular. So she just kept doing it over and over again. But the final straw came again when Technoblade passed away due to cancer. Similar to our first case, Bella saw it as an opportunity for fame during this tragic event. So again, she decided to troll with her polls on YouTube, asking whether or not Technoblade deserved it. And when somebody answered it, the answer popped up saying, "He's a racist bum." And luckily for her, it worked. People started to talk about her, and famous creators even started calling her out. For Bella, this was a springboard for even more fame. Multiple subreddits were created dedicated exclusively to hating Bella. People like Tyrek Hort's LOL started calling her out in their own videos. He, for example, posted multiple videos where he dissected her behavior.
By Bella's standards, you love Jesus, you're a nerd. You love Allah, you're a nerd. You love Bella, you're majestic, not a nerd.
And that was actually the main reason her notoriety succeeded in moving out of the gacha community and becoming mainstream. Tyra's videos garnered millions of views very quickly. Now naturally, everybody was super mad at Bella's behavior, and so she started receiving death threats and even risked being doxxed on the internet. But the troubling part of this issue is her response to these YouTubers. She slandered them even worse and even created disturbing drawings. In one of her drawings, she drew herself holding Tyra's head in her hand, which she posted on her Discord server. And considering her server had a lot of members, most of them being sympathizers of Bella, they decided to follow suit and even created their own drawings where Tyra was beaten, put on a leash, and many more horrifying things. At the same time, a different YouTuber named PackGod, who's famous for confronting controversial internet personalities in his unique style, conducted a public trial with Bella. And while the video showed Bella getting what she deserved, it was more considered a collaboration between PackGod and Bella. It was just meant for laughs and keeping the gossip alive. And PackGod even released a diss track titled Animal Control about her, which just poked fun at the whole situation and seemed to be nothing but a normal fight between two YouTubers. Now on November 8th, 2024, Bella decided to upload an apology video. But even in that video, Bella reads her apology in a manner that makes everyone think it was just satire.
Hello everyone, Bella the Wolf here. I want to sincerely apologize for recent behavior, which has caused significant harm and distress. I deeply regret mocking Islam and Christianity, as well as my involvement in actions that disrespected these faiths.
And other than that, her apology speech seemed very unemotional and AI generated, which just further infuriated everyone until her account actually got reported multiple times in the upcoming months. But the most disturbing thing Bella did was doxing a 10-year-old kid on her Discord server. She's said to have bullied the child multiple times before she finally doxed him. And this was such a severe thing that the kid started getting over 500 text messages from strangers who thought that the phone number was Bella's. It got so severe that the kid's mom had to go on TikTok to confront Bella about it.
But the worst part about it was, today I checked his phone while he was at school, and there was voicemails and text messages saying the N-word. There was pictures sent that were very, very inappropriate for a 10-year-old, inappropriate for me, and I'm 41 years old.
And that was the final nail in Bella's coffin. To remove some blame, Bella started posting that she was suffering from advanced cancer and was just venting out her anger. But despite that, nobody believed her, as Bella even admitted to creating the rumors so that people could sympathize with her. In December of 2024, her account would finally be banned on YouTube, which prompted everybody to feel like the burden was removed and that the gacha community can function as it always did. But this was pretty short-lived, since Bella's account is now reinstated again. But now comes the weirdest twist. Bella would change her channel's bio to exactly the opposite of what it used to be. She now praises soldiers and Jesus. And she would suddenly start posting photos of a hospital ward where she claimed she's staying in. This next creator, however, has managed to horrify a lot of people, both inside and outside the gacha community.
According to Len, his friendship with the as well as her charity led him to accept explicit images from her.
Len Totally, or Alan, was a popular Filipino gacha content creator, known for story-driven animations, meme videos, and gacha skits that were targeted towards a younger audience. At his peak, he had over 500,000 subscribers and was frequently recommended in fan circles as a must-watch creator for beginners in the Gacha Life community. His polished editing style, catchy thumbnails, and interactive community polls helped him build a loyal fanbase, many of whom were again He was especially known for creating relatable teenage narratives that included high school drama, romance plots, and transformation themes. For many fans, Len Totally felt like a safe and entertaining creator. That opinion, however, collapsed when a video titled Len Totally Exposed was posted in February 2021. This video laid out serious allegations of inappropriate behavior towards a 15-year-old fan. The video also included Discord messages, audio recordings, and screenshots of conversations that showed obvious use of emotionally manipulative language by Len. The alleged victim, a gacha community member known online as Senpai Wolfie, spoke in the video about how the interactions began and escalated. In one of these chats, when Wolfie tells him that she's been watching anime, Len replies that she should perform obscene activities on him while she does it.
You've told me you've ahem to my pics, so asking for more wouldn't be so bad. Deep sigh. But do my pictures really turn you on that much? Yes, really, but videos make it. So the video I sent earlier got you so much you wanted to. Also, it's critical hit. My heart is gonna die due to excitement.
After all of this, on February 23rd, 2021, Len Totally posted a public community message on his YouTube channel. In that post, he admitted that the incident had
Get detailed feedback on your story with Pro Writing Aid. Receive actionable insights on your plot
occurred, but claimed that Senpai had started the contact.
As much as I hate drama, it's not going to end well for me. I'm highly aware. Though again, my side is always part of this. The evidence is true. As much as I regret it, I did such things to someone. So it didn't really reach the point that I'm affecting her life in a bad way. That's what I think anyway. It was just me and her. The thing is that we were really open about each other, and I have evidence of that. I guess my mistake is simply going with it, even if it got out of hand. I'm still to blame either way.
What Len was set out to do was to partly blame Wolfie, who was clearly still a for everything that has happened. He admits his own fault, but quickly pulls back and says that he did as he did because she made him do it. Instead of a blunt apology, which Wolfie deserved, Len delivered a blunt allegation against her. Users on Reddit immediately documented the post and began calling attention to it in threads like r/GachaLifeCringe and r/GachaClub, where moderators pinned alerts warning others about the situation. A detailed write-up was also added to the GachaTubers wiki, cataloging the entire timelines of events. Shortly after posting that message, Len Totally deleted the community post along with the comments across the social platforms. He also uploaded a response video in which he stated he had been aware of what was happening, but offered little clarity or reflection.
I deleted all of my community posts, disabled comments in my video, and deactivated most of my social accounts. So everything will be stored in that one straightforward response in my community tabs. After panicking for a while, I was able to connect with some people and apologize to the victim herself. Luckily, she responded. She said that I won't be able to redeem myself, but she also said that I deserve a second chance and that I have to learn from the mistakes that I have done.
The video continued to gain traction. Fellow gacha creators including Rosie Closey, Gacha Vida, and Kiri responded with statements of support for the victim and emphasized that could never be justified by claiming the had initiated contact. And in the days that followed, Len Totally began removing his videos from his YouTube channel and eventually set it to private by May 2021. His Discord server was also shut down and his Twitter account disappeared shortly after. By mid-2021, Len Totally had vanished from the gacha scene entirely. Now let's talk about the disturbing side of gacha that you see all the time.
It's very obvious that there's no getting through to these people, so simply reporting their hateful content and comments is enough. Do not interact with these people. You will not get any answers from them other than ones that will leave you more angry than when you came in.
Apart from the side of Gacha that is filled with predators, there's another sinister side to the community where kids enjoy talking about leaving this earth. One of the most notable cases is that of Sweet Lemon, a 15-year-old kid. Multiple accounts confirm that she also went by the name of Avery and operated a Reddit account, u/and_I_scoop_uwu. She usually posted on the r/Gacha Life cringe subreddit, where the bad aspects of Gacha Life communities are openly criticized and discussed. Avery also had an active presence on this and other Gacha Life related subreddits. She also had a now deleted Discord server which was active and thriving. Everything seemed fine with her until May 22nd of 2020, when she managed to cause an uproar by posting an announcement on her Discord that she decided to leave this realm for good. Even though this was due to a variety of reasons, many people thought that this might be due to the ongoing harassment she was facing from somebody called Emily. Now, we have no concrete evidence of who this Emily person might be, or even whether or not she's a real person, since her supposed Instagram account has now been deleted. But the story went something like this. Avery, or Sweet Lemon, started receiving gacha content in which her character was shown in a very inappropriate way. And on top of that, some screen grabs from Emily's deleted Instagram account show a post where Emily's character is standing over the dead body of Lemon's character. And not stopping there, Emily would also tag Lemon's account in the post itself. When confronted, Emily replied only rudely and seemed intent on bullying Lemon for unknown reasons. Many people say that the reason behind Emily's anger with Sweet was due to Emily's best friend dating Lemon, but this might be just a rumor. Not able to bear her, Lemon decided to expose Emily on Instagram. She posted pictures of their chat where Emily can be seen telling Lemon to unalive herself multiple times. Even Lemon's friends would confront Emily to get her to stop bullying her, but this was also to no avail. In fact, this time Emily would shift the blame to Lemon, saying that the reason she was doing this was because Sweet had blackmailed her and told her to unalive herself. And all of this would lead to Lemon announcing her self-deletion, which was also confirmed by her family. The reactions of this were of course very vigorous. The story got posted multiple times in multiple subreddits and people started calling out Emily, and she even went on to shame and blame herself by changing her Instagram bio to deranged a-hole. Some went on to create a subreddit called r/SweetLemons to honor Lemon, and they even posted fan art where they depicted her as descending to heaven as an angel, and they even wrote poems dedicated for her. Now, amidst this chaos, an account named Gacha Life Community even started celebrating Lemon's death, saying that she deserved to be erased off the earth. But despite that, people would start debating amongst themselves whether Emily was at fault here, since she was only a kid herself, and kids sometimes simply didn't know any better. Lemon's cousin, who took over her account, tried to deflate the situation, saying that Emily might not be the sole cause of Lemon's actions, and that Lemon was facing stress in her real life from her parents and friends. And coming to Emily herself, she was allegedly harassed and bullied online due to this, and people worried whether this would push her on the same path as it did Lemon. Even her apology post would be criticized for being dishonest and insensitive, but little did everybody know that they were going to receive the biggest shock of their lives just after. Lemon was alive. On May 25th, Lemon posted on r/SweetLemons that she was indeed still breathing, and the whole thing was set up just to be a lesson for Emily. Now, the reaction to this post was very explosive to say the least. People started calling her the worst person ever, since she thought it would be a good idea to use the topic of leaving this earth for her own benefit. She was also called out for exploiting the emotions of hundreds of people who were emotionally invested in this event. And as is natural on the internet, the tables turned really fast. People started supporting Emily and started attacking Lemon. She would start receiving actual death threats and soon disappeared from social media, and she would be gone for about 2 years. When she decided to reappear on the Sweet Lemon subreddit, she gave the reasons behind her behavior. She admitted that she was wrong, but she also claimed that her mental health in 2020 was a total mess, and she thought faking her own death would be similar to venting it out. And she would also admit that she wasn't actually 14, but this story perfectly shows us the climate of some gacha communities, where kids are given free reign and things unexpectedly cascade into pure online chaos. But this pales in comparison to another aspect of gacha life, which even made its way to the news.
I would never let them watch YouTube again without me being there like every second.
There's a feature in Gacha Life that enables everyone to create the content they do, the studio feature, where you can take multiple characters and create a storyline out of it. This then can be posted on other platforms. This is the exact aspect of the game that makes it so attractive and also problematic. The usual content people create using the studio feature is nothing but your run-of-the-mill TikTok trends, but with gacha generated anime characters rather than real human beings. These videos are usually very childish looking, but don't let them fool you, because they have immense popularity and a fan base among young adults too. While most of the videos require minimal effort with crude text boxes and no voiceovers, some popular gacha creators have taken it a notch higher by hiring professional voice actors and making complete mini-series and movies out of them. These creators have amassed a large number of views and subscribers in quite a small amount of time, but this is only one side of the whole story. As with anything that is as popular and accessible as Gacha Life, people started using it to create stuff that is weirdly dark and disturbing. And even worse is the fact that in the case of Gacha Heat, the creators are mostly kids. Gacha Heat is a broad term used to categorize the genre of gacha videos that feature famous gacha and anime characters and questionable storylines. What makes this incredibly dangerous is the fact that most of the time, Gacha Heat videos seem child-friendly and are ignored by most of the security filters. They're tagged with normal hashtags, such as hashtag gacha story or hashtag gacha, which makes it possible for these videos to pop up beside normal gacha videos. So any kid who's a fan of gacha may unwantedly stumble upon these harmful videos. The characters are said to be in heat, and this is where the genre gets its name. But these videos do not just display weird interpersonal relationships, but they go on to normalize inappropriate behavior between siblings, family members, and even animals. Weird anime-loving videos are what actually brought Gacha Heat to the fame it has. In one of the videos that you can watch on YouTube, I found acts of anime-loving, murder, human trafficking, and even worse stuff, all within the same video inside Gacha Life. And this is just one example of how disturbing content created by Gacha can actually get. Even though the creator behind this video can very well be a kid, many think it's actually adults who make these videos, which makes it a whole lot creepier. But these videos for some reason get a ton of views. So many gacha YouTubers who try to be relevant, who try to get a piece of that pie, are forced to change their style and create videos similar to Gacha Heat. And they're even harassed online and reported if they don't do it. Now this is such a huge problem that multiple petitions have been created to tackle this very issue. Even though this whole affair might just seem childish and insignificant, it is very concerning when you imagine millions of children in all corners of the world are being exposed to the content that it seems normal, but it's definitely not. And after parents actually started finding out about these videos, Gacha Heat would eventually make it to the news, where parents were interviewed and were horrified at finding out that such unhinged content was floating around freely for their kids to watch.
In this video, a boy wants a pet. A man shows up with a girl who has visible injuries all over her body. The man says she costs $400.
But while the game is used to create a lot of disturbing content, it gets a lot darker when you know the things the creator of the game added to it.
I've tried to find proof that this is happening. People are saying that people are sending loony, not alive threats and stuff like that.
Looney, whose real name is Lucas Lee, was born in the US. He always loved drawing things and started animating from a young age. He also loved making smartphone games and animating in college. And soon he would be roped into the gacha craze that was all over the gaming community, and would even experiment with creating some similar games. And even though he created a lot of indie games in the meantime, his real fame was with the game he created in 2018, which was called Gacha Life. Gacha Life was an instant hit, as kids loved using the creative options the game offered, and also the ability to create their own storylines. And with that success, he soon created his own game creation studio, Lunime, which then became an official center for all his games and their updates. But it wasn't all praise and sunshine. People would soon realize the problematic aspects of Looney's worldbuilding, like the fact that he's guilty of making the game full of adult references, and then going on about telling people that it's a kid's game. At the beginning, many people didn't notice these things, but slowly things started to pop out. One of the many problematic aspects of his role was the creation of mouth designs for the characters. While most of the mouths the character have are normal, Looney made it possible for the characters to have a drooling mouth and a mouth with a tongue sticking out of it in a lewd manner, which actually made it possible to make these Gacha Heat videos in the first place. But it didn't stop at mouths. Even the positions the characters would be able to assume were really problematic. Players discovered, for example, that Looney added a thrusting animation for the characters, and many people questioned where such an option would actually be used, if not to generate adult content. And his preference for adult content would be shown when he announced that he would release a game in the Gacha franchise called Gacha Paradise, which was said to be an adult anime game. The proposed gameplay was in an RPG style, and the playable character in the game would be able to date many of the girls in the game and form a harem, and it would also include a lot of adult mini-games that would allow you to get points. Now, despite these allegations, a lot of people still support the game and their creator, but nobody was able to support Hatsumi Ru.
Hatsumi would threaten to in herself to her life, or even the victim's life, often saying how she'll their life together.
In 2023, Hatsumi Ru was one of the most popular and talented gacha YouTubers out there. Her videos were instantaneous hits, and her subscriber count grew like no other. While many created gacha videos, Hatsumi's skills in animating and drawing made her videos stand out. They were hailed as unique and fun to watch. She was so influential that many gacha YouTubers would cite her as their inspiration to make gacha content themselves. But that would change with the video titled The Truth About Hatsumi Ru that was posted on YouTube on June 16, 2023. In that video, the creator reveals with absolute proof that Hatsumi her friend, who was a For the sake of this video, we'll call the victim Julie. Julie and Hatsumi met online on a website called Ponytown in 2021. Julie was 12 years old at the time, while Hatsumi was 18. Julie was initially excited to be friends with such a big YouTuber, and she openly admired her. But allegedly, Julie was with someone else at the time, but also added Hatsumi on Messenger nonetheless. Their initial chats were normal, with Julie showing her admiration, while Hatsumi got to know and familiarize herself with her new friend. But as time went on, Hatsumi slowly changed her behavior. She decided to use the trust and admiration that Julie showed on her to get what she needed. It all started when Hatsumi slowly started insinuating adult stuff in her chat with Julie. She talked about where babies came from and other stuff. And when Julie replied,
"I don't. Bang. Wait, you're I know you. How? I really don't. Sure. Watch then. Wait, what am I saying?"
Naturally, Julie reacted hesitantly, but let them slide by. But they progressed to a point where she just couldn't ignore these messages anymore. Sometimes Hatsumi would suddenly text inappropriate things, and then would immediately back away as if to check Julie's reaction.
Sit on your lap. Hey mommy. What? Let's play. Play what? Put your hand on my you know? What? Come on.
And she would just continue with these texts. And before long, Hatsumi convinced Julie to participate in roleplays. Initially, the roleplays were normal, but soon they turned into disturbing scenarios. In one of these scenarios, Hatsumi would put Julie in the role as a guy and would describe in detail what they would do to each other.
Then you start rubbing your on my Cree. Then you said, "Why don't you show me about how you did it on the table?" Okay, I'm dead. And that dumb me did it in your table. I put mine on the side of a table, and you said, "That's a good p." And then you put your on my
and not willing to risk Hatsumi hating her, Julie would simply continue with the act and listen to what Hatsumi was saying. But beneath Julie's reactions, a sense of hesitation and discomfort was always apparent. Now slowly, Hatsumi and Julie actually got into a relationship. And it is actually ironical that Julie was the one who was more concerned about the age gap than Hatsumi. She cautioned Hatsumi multiple times that their age difference could easily jeopardize her whole career. But Hatsumi didn't care, and she even became more obsessive over time and looked for ways to control Julie's real life. In one particular instance, Hatsumi lashes out at Julie because she matched her profile picture with another friend.
Probably just me. I wouldn't mind at all if you had other friends or matched with someone else, like I said. Because there's nothing wrong with having more than one friendship with someone. I don't want another bullshit to ruin me. That's just my view on it, and I'm going to stick to it. So sorry if you get hurt.
And as time passed, all of Hatsumi's and Julie's interactions seemed to follow a pattern that begins with Hatsumi forcing her love on Julie and then guilt-tripping her when she doesn't get the response she wants. This guilt-tripping would only escalate to the point where Hatsumi would threaten Julie that if she continued to disappoint her as she did, she will leave this earth on her own accord.
My parents scare me about this a lot, so I got scared. But don't worry, Lamau, I delete every pics and everything that have memories on me. Hey, you didn't need to do that, Cree. And if you feel uncomfortable with me, I'll gladly delete myself too. Foul. Lady, I never even.
Seeing this unfold, Julie quickly realizes that Hatsumi is not exactly the idol she admired and that she was predatory and manipulative at best. Hatsumi would also take things a step further by sending Julie explicit photos when she was drunk. She would also force Julie to return the favor, and when Julie refused, Hatsumi would lash out at her. Hatsumi's creativity would also be used in the wrong ways when she drew her OC and Julie's OC in explicit positions and sent them to her. It seemed like Hatsumi was blind to see how wrong all of this was. Now in 2022, they finally break up, but under Hatsumi's condition that they would be reunited when Julie would turn 18. Julie thought that this would be a good time for her to reflect on her situation and concentrate on school, but she would soon realize that this breakup meant nothing to Hatsumi. She behaved as if nothing happened and continued to be touchy and inappropriate. And as the roleplays continued, Julie finally confronted Hatsumi to stop behaving as she did and to delete the voice recordings that Julie sent to Hatsumi. While Hatsumi deleted them, she surely tried to use them to keep Julie under her sway. It might be even considered that Hatsumi would have blackmailed Julie if she wasn't a minor. At the same time, Julie started to vent out her frustration with Hatsumi's other friends. She talked about how she felt uncomfortable with Hatsumi's behavior and just now got the courage to actually talk about it.
Telling me how she was kind of uncomfortable and upset how Hatsu had been treating her.
Little did Julie know that even Hatsumi's close friend group was disintegrating due to Hatsumi's behavior. The fact was, Hatsumi would continuously resort to threats of unaliving herself whenever someone called her out. But all of that came to a halt when Setsuna Silver, one of her friends, decided to post a video exposing Hatsumi. And as soon as the video came out, Hatsumi would realize that she wouldn't be able to hide anymore, and so immediately privatized all of her accounts and disappeared from YouTube and the rest of social media, mostly forever.
Now, I've always known, I'm going to tell you guys something straight up. I've always been so grateful that the algorithm has cleansed, purified all my shit of anything to do with gacha. And no, I don't subscribe to anything with Gacha Life in it. And YouTube at one point was pushing this slop, this crap upon me. And I was just sitting here having to go through thousands, if not 4,000 videos of just constant Gacha Life bullshit. I was trying to get rid of it. All of it. I'm like, I don't subscribe to this shit. Why do you have me doing this? And then I realized it's just, damn. I mean, I already knew, right? Because, let me be real. Any adult in these types of communities, you always know when it's an adult, it's immediately bad. It's always bad. It's never been a good thing. It's never been a sign of peace or something like that. It's always with adults. They do something very disgusting on these child-friendly like communities. And it's always been like that. But you know, it took everyone probably a very long time to realize 2 and 2. I'm not going to play into the narrative that people didn't know, they didn't believe it. I believe everything that I see about this community. Like, Gacha Life, I knew there was something always there. I just didn't have to put my thumb on it. I just knew what it was. So, right. As expected, everyone in this community intentionally threatens to do self-termination on a constant daily basis, which means it's a guilt-tripping tactic. And that's very common, it seems like, in this community. And the fact that these are kids saying it, yeah, no, I don't like that at all. Not just I don't like it, I kind of find it disturbing. That's an early age of depression right there. The fact that a little kid is on here unsupervised is just telling me a lot. And then they made it to the news finally. So that tells you a lot what it is. I just feel like kids are always at a vulnerable point of the internet, and I feel like it's mainly these parents who are like 30 and 40 or 50 years old. No, all right, exile 50. Just say 30 and 40. 30 and 40 years old, intentionally oblivious to what their kid is doing online, so they just don't care enough. I'm the only one who realizes this. Like, why the fuck is this even happening on a constant daily basis? And then we got people trolling. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a complete issue with all that weird shit, because that's a typical nice guy gamer thing to do. Same for nice guy gamer girls to do, because, well, gamer girls, they mainly actually intentionally threaten to do self-termination. So yeah, they do that a lot. They really just, you know, they try to be like, I'm gonna do something to myself, and they start doing rage baiting tactics, you know, activities that would hurt yourself, commit some sort of heinous shit on their own bodies, just because I'm depressed, or quotations, I'm depressed, but they're not really depressed. They're just trying to get attention. There's not that many people nowadays that actually realize that they're in the wrong, but it is what it is. Disgustingly enough, that type of individual will do shit like that and think it's a-okay. And then later on, like we just saw in the video, they were like, oh, I was just doing that so you guys can just get off my back. So that's why I don't trust. I'll tell you guys this. This is going to be fucked up. That's why I don't trust people talking about depression on the internet. I'm very, very keen on seeing who's really depressed and who isn't. I can tell. There's certain things you do and certain things you say that just show that you're really just, you know, on the verge of doing the unthinkable. And you can just tell with these people, but these individuals right here on camera, nah. Never. It's never been real. It's just I'm saying it because it gets me points. Like, then we got, of course, the usual stereotypical, you know how the gaming community is, guys. But look, we're the only ones with the most incels, femcels, and we're the ones who have the most VTuber, no, not VTuber, excuse me, VR chat players on the planet Earth. We have a literal infestation in our communities every single fucking time, and no one addresses it on that level. I mean, if it is addressed, it's, to me, kind of half-assedly addressed through videos like this, talked about. But you know, here's the thing. I believe it's the people that we don't even judge that would do this shit. I mean, I'm not surprised with these types of communities. I'm never surprised. Adults just know how to ruin shit. Gamers that are adults, they just know how to ruin shit. It's just in their nature. The Sonic community, a whole bunch of other communities, like, they're holy dumpster fire, bro. Like, all of them are just holy dumpster fire. Because it's just a bunch of slop here, a bunch of slop there, because they're obsessed with the character. It's not about respect at this point. It's just about fixation and how long I can do it until I get caught and get in trouble for, you know, making these characters do activities they weren't supposed to. And then this person faking, or well, this kid faking their death, and then later on, they get called out for it, and they're hated for it. It's just, see what I'm talking about? That's why I don't put emotional investment on the internet too much. I'm not gonna lie. It's gotta be a big figure that's like helped me with a whole bunch of shit. But these people put emotional investment in this person. And now they've gotten betrayed. I don't blame them. They're really pissed. But hey, it's always the ones that you never suspect. Always. I mean, the gacha community is just shouldn't exist. It honestly, I don't even know what to say after this, except it shouldn't exist. They literally should have a notification or a security system that blocks anyone older than like the age requirements. Or make a separate app or community so it could be pushing away that part and pushing it all the way towards a different area of Gacha Life so no one doesn't get hurt in the process, but no one doesn't give a shit. But yeah, I'm just grateful that this slop is no longer in front of my face. I try to get rid of it every fucking time. That was like years ago. It was hell. And then the creator knew, I'm gonna say this, the creator definitely knows about this. He's just, you know, it's just like Roblox. They're not gonna deal with their favorite, you know, VR chat players. They're kind of gonna deal with the people trying to stop those VR chat players. Because it's annoying. They don't like it when their VR chat players are getting messed with. Because they are the big backbone, the money bank that keeps giving. So if you get rid of that, they're more pissed off at you than him. They'll be like, yeah, I know he's a bad person, but you just ruined Gacha Life for us. So look what you just did. They'll blame you for it. They will not blame him for it. They'll say, good job for stopping him, but that's about it. You destroyed my own app. Thank you. And you're banned. That's how it is. Look, guys. At this point, when people like this apparently magically don't know, don't ever take it as the truth. Clearly, your instinctive thought knows that they know and that they're lying, and it's just simple as that. Again, this is a part of the gaming community. You should expect people to dox, harass, do dumb shit, low IQ type shit. Racial slurs here, rage baiting here. You know how this works. It's just how it is. But no one's not gonna have that conversation though, because if we do, it's just pointing fingers at who's this, who's that, without any accountability behind it. So the conversation doesn't get anywhere. It's just a repetitive fucking excuse-making conversation about, you know, even though he did that, but it's really wrong of him to expose VR chat players when none of us are like that. And so, yeah, it's going to be a long, unnecessary conversation of just straws here, picking little straws here and there, and just consider it a defense. So, yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Hi, I'm Lucy Christian. I am the voice of Ochako Uraraka, and you should subscribe to Neusxanity's channel. Peace out!